My dad forgot one of his all-time favorite dogs. We were at dinner and we were having this lovely conversation about the animals that we've had in our lives that have since gone and passed. And my dad said, "Wait, that dog, what did they look like? What was their name again?" And in that moment, my daughter and my mom and I all looked at each other and we did that, oh. And it's that moment of figuring out the best way to respond. For those of you who are new here, my name is Katrina. My mother and I care for my father who's cognitively declining. He's he's middle to advancing in his cognitive decline. We also are a multi-generational family, and I have my beautiful 13-and-a-half-year-old daughter who lives with us. We are a family that is in the midst of cognitive decline, and we are determined to live and thrive with cognitive decline. I also have over 10 years in long-term care experience. This conversation about our dog started from a very interesting place. We were actually talking about my dad's legacy and the legacy that my dad leaves for my daughter and the generations that follow is that on the day that he went to have his heart exploratory catheterization was the day after my mom finished her round of 30 radiations and 3 chemotherapies for her sinus cancer. It was a really overwhelming time. And in the midst of that, my mom's dog died. I told my mom no more dogs because I couldn't handle one more thing. So my mom came home after putting her dog Reggie down and she got on petfinder.com. And she started crying because she found who she was determined was her next dog. Somehow, in the midst of everything, I was able to figure out how we were going to go to the pound and see this dog after a meeting with her oncologist in the morning and then heading down to the other end of town to go do radiation. We stopped and met a dog. Long story short, we got a dog. The dog was old. The dog was not in the best health. I didn't think this was a good idea. But my mom and the dog were determined that they were not going to be separated now that they were together. Fast forward back to Dad. God bless Dad. The morning it was time for his surgery, we woke up and I thought this new dog, Lily, she was a beautiful little girl. I thought she was dead. She didn't really move. I went and I poked at her and she was still alive, but I didn't have the ability to deal with it. And my mom had just finished 30 radiations and 3 rounds of chemotherapy, and Mom couldn't deal with it. And well, Dad couldn't deal with it because I was taking him to the hospital. And my aunt couldn't deal with it because she was meeting us down at the hospital. It was one of those moments where I had to choose the human and not the animal. And so we got down there, and the whole way down, Dad was distraught that, what about Lily? She needs to go to the vet. And I'm like, she does need to go to the vet, but I have to take you to the hospital. You have a scheduled surgery. And we got down there, and my dad was so fixated on Lily and making sure that she got her medical care that all of a sudden, he's like, you call. And my aunt's like, I'm here. I can take care of your dad. And I'm like, oh, sure. I can just run back up to the suburbs. And I was down in Denver and we lived in the suburbs of Denver. It's like, sure, I can just drive back and get the dog and take her to the vet. I don't even know that I can get her in. Dad's like, call and see if you can get her in. So I called to see if I could get her in, and they could get her in. And exactly almost if time down, I had to leave immediately, get in the car, go pick up the dog, go to the vet. And I literally arrived within 5 minutes of needing to be there. It was a total God thing. And my aunt assured me that she had my dad and would keep me updated. And my dad said, get out of here. So the legacy my dad leaves is one of loving our animals more than he loved himself, more than he loved even having comfort in the hospital. And that night, as we were sitting there having this amazing conversation, his response to me reminding him of this story was, who's Lily? This man had me leave the hospital because he loved this dog so much. And he doesn't remember who she was. And I was like, she was that little terrier mix, terrier poodle. She was buff colored. And I pulled out my phone and I started scrolling and I started showing him pictures of Lily, and I started showing him pictures with him and Lily and videos with him and Lily. And he's like, yeah. And the really sad part is it was a really faint memory, even with the pictures. You could see that he was having a hard time grabbing onto it. But Reggie, he did remember Reggie. And Liz, oh, she's a famous dog, that girl. He still remembers Liz Lou. but he couldn't even remember all the golden retrievers that we had had and which numbers. He knew we had 3, but he couldn't delineate the difference between them. And in that moment, we took the position and posture as a family to speak up and talk about the legacy of love that he gives and that he leaves me with and he leaves my daughter with, that we love our animals and we take care of our animals and we do everything we can to do the best for our animals. Even if it means leaving your dad at the hospital. I mean, what a legacy, right? So in the midst, we honored him and we shared stories and it became this really amazing moment that went on for about an hour to an hour and a half of just like love, of all these amazing memories that we had had as a family. My daughter only remembers 13 and a half years, but I have 48 years with my dad of remembering to tell him all the things that he's done in his life. All these moments of loving animals that he has bred into us. Pun intended. But truly. And it's amazing because my daughter, one of her goals in life is to run an animal rescue. So it truly is something that will carry forth into the next generations. Whether she does that or not isn't the point. It's in her heart. And it's how much she loves animals. My prayer for you in this moment is that this story empowers you. If it is your family member that you are caring for, that you are able to sit there and love on them and not chastise them or get upset that they don't remember, but instead take it as a moment that you are able to offer them grace, love, and mercy, and you are able to offer them the legacy that they leave. That you're able to remind them of these special moments in your life. If you're working in a care facility, that's going to be a little bit harder for you, but you should also have memories and moments with that person. I know that I had this one client that, God, I loved her. Every day I walked in her room for 4.5 years, I introduced myself and and it was like we just met. I would always tell her that I was her friend and that I would take good care of her. In those moments, you can offer memories or you can offer assurances that you are there to keep them safe and you are there and you appreciate them and that you love them. I offer you these stories as something that you can carry forth into your day as a practical tip and that you're able to change your environment in that moment. My prayer for today is that this video meets you where you are at. If you are so inclined and it touched your spirit, please buy me a cup of coffee. Links are down below. But no matter what, I pray that this video meets you where you are at, that it helps to fill your cup. And with that cup that is full, that you are able to go out into the world and that you are able to overflow. And if we all do that, we truly can change the world. Have a beautiful day.